Welcome to the podcast, all my party poopers and anyone else who's joining in. Well, it is Christmas. No, it's not Christmas Eve. I swear the last 2 weeks I don't remember what day anything is, but now I'm just looking down at the computer and of course I realise it is New Year's Eve. Okay, I got that right. And I also realise that I'm going to be away from this computer for the next couple of weeks, so I need to get this done ASAP so it's ready to put out when I feel like it. So I hope everyone had a merry everything, whatever it was that you were marrying or dismarrying or basically ignoring. It doesn't matter, as long as hopefully you've got to have a bit of a break, a little bit of a time for reflection, a little bit of time to listen to some podcasts, maybe a couple of podcasts. If you haven't caught quite up yet, you might go through up to we're into the 50s now, so maybe enjoy some lovely podcasts while listening. I can't stop doing that. Hopefully get to enjoy a lot of different things, reading some books. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I've also thought about what I was going to talk about before this interview that I'm going to be having with Kathy. And of course, I had promised on the private Facebook page that I had this wonderful autistic moment that I was going to share. Well, I posted that on the 17th of December, and guess what? No surprises to anyone who's listened. I've forgotten what it is now. I have absolutely no idea. I have rumblings of an idea of what it was about, but to be honest, I've completely forgotten. So I'm going to have to wait till I go back to work and maybe ask some people, what did I do that was embarrassing? Can anyone remember? Because I can't. But thankfully we've got some of the poopers who've actually put in some funny little autistic moments for us. I thought I'd share them with you before we head off into it's going to be, oh my God, I just realised it's going to be the first of the new season, this one. I don't know how it works out. I don't know if I've done this wrong, but I'm going up in numbers, but I'm also doing seasons as well. And I'm not starting at one again for each new season. That would be silly. That would be weird. So that's what I'm doing.
Autistic moments.
What now? So the first autistic moment I got from, and I thought I'd do this off the bat. I haven't prepared the name changes for this, so I'm just going straight into it, and it's going to be called Help Me Rhonda Horsehair. So Help Me Rhonda Horsehair said, the other day a client was telling me about their upcoming wedding. She then asked, I wonder if we should have kids. To this, what did I call you again? To this, Help Me Rhonda launched into a deep 10-minute philosophical speech about the pros and cons of having children. And then she said, because kids can really change the vibe at a wedding. It was then that she realised she just meant having kids at the wedding. I would have done exactly the same thing. Don't feel bad about that, Help Me Rhonda, because to be quite honest, I think the conversation you were having was a lot more interesting. And yes, you should have kids at a wedding. Bloody hell. Okay, so the next one comes from ex-Princess Schwarzenegger. I love coming up with these on the fly. Okay, so ex-Princess is talking about something that occurs to probably all of us, and that is when you're surrounded with people who are playing music and, when one of their technicians is doing dull, repetitive tasks in the lab, they often put the radio on, playing some, I love this bassy, young people music, and it goes right through the wall into their room. I don't want to ask them to turn it off because they're junior and have a dull task and deserve to have ways to make it more fun, but the thub, thub, thub leaves me really dysregulated. Headphones can help, but I can often still feel it, and that's full on. If you're still feeling it, that's not good. So yeah, that's a tough one. But to be honest, as I'd said to her, they need to think about everyone in there as well. And if you're being dysregulated, if you're the one who's not able to do your tasks, that's not a good thing either. And I'm sure that's not what they would want. So I think accommodations sometimes have to be made in the workplace. And, if you can't focus, then it's not good for the business. It's not good for you. And I think the people who are making the noise would probably feel bad about it as well. Now, that wasn't an autistic moment, but I thought it was also an interesting one because it's something that we all deal with, and I'd love to hear from anyone else to think, what do you do in situations like that? Even people who make a lot of noise when they're loud. There's always those loud people who just can't keep their voices down. What do you do in that situation? It's so tough because often they're probably just not aware of it. All right, next one. Okay, now this is going to be an interesting one. Okay, and they're not going to understand this because it's completely personal. So, how am I going to do the first one? Oh, okay, so yeah, Posh Fred has posted a couple little things. Autistic moments every day. Okay. One, walking into a staff room and instantly having to leave if someone's eating. Now, that could be a number of things, couldn't it? It could be like smell. It could be sound. Oh, the sounds. Oh, my God. It could be... Well, I know for me, I don't want people hearing me and watching me eat. I hate it. I just can't stand it. So I tend to go find somewhere very quiet to have my food. I don't know if obviously the people who are eating in this room don't care, but yeah, I totally get that. You walk in and you're like, oh God, just get a drink and walk out again. The next one was just constantly looking lost, even though I've worked there for years. I'm just trying to picture the face. Lost in what way? Like you're getting lost as you walk. You walk a couple of steps from your desk. You stop. You turn around, looking really confused. You look the other way. Where the hell am I? Or is it more like a sort of a general, just feeling a bit lost because there's a bit of discomfort and you're around all these people and there's too much social stuff going on? I'm assuming it's the latter, not the former. Because otherwise what I'd be doing is maybe tying a bit of string to you so you can always find a way back, or drop breadcrumbs, things like that, so you know how to get back to where you were. And yeah, maybe draw some maps of the office where the toilet is, where all the important parts are. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Another one was Posh said is turning lights off as I walk around the buildings. Absolutely. And even if you're the first one in the morning, I only turn on the lights that I need to, or I don't turn on any lights at all. But then I've discovered other people walk in and get a fright because I'm just sitting there in the dark. And finally, what does she say? I think the most frustrating thing for others is the constant whys. Now, I wonder what that means. The constant whys. So my fave is when I started talking about policy procedures when making decisions, and people look at me like I have three heads because of how I interpret them. Now, if you had asked me about ADHD moments, they're not so amusing. Yeah, I can imagine. But that's true. Then that's why I replied and said, yeah, that's why I've written the policies and procedures as much as I can myself, or at least I've gone in there and reworded so it's going to make sense for everyone. And I think that's an important thing that I've just been noticing over the last few years, is that any sort of accommodations can get made in the workplace for neurodivergent people. It actually helps everybody, not just the neurodivergent people, because it's written, or whatever it's been planned or organised is set around to deal with different types. We're all different types, so it's going to help. So that's what I would say, is that if you get the opportunity and you don't understand it, put up your hand and say, look, can I put in my 2 cents, and can I give you some options of how to rewrite this? That's what I would do. Anyway, Posh, the second word of your name is actually one of my first pets, which was a little bird, a little budgerigar. So there you go. Okay, now we got one more. This is from, I like this one. This is good. McCartney Thief. I like that. This was not at work, but I had to go to the Social Security office. I drove there, parked, scanned the QR on the door to check in, and walked in to the vestibule. Oh, that word. Can we all just take a moment and just reflect on how awesome that word is? Vestibule. Even say it. Just say it out loud and just trust me, say it out loud. Vestibule. Vestibule. It's calming to say. Vestibule. Thank you so much, McCartney, for giving me that word. Anyway, let's move on. There were several stairs, but also a ramp that went to the left and then right up to the same doorway. Okay, so along the ramp floor there were circles with "wait here" emblazoned on them. I love your wording here. Emblazoned's another awesome word. Emblazoned. Emblazoned. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Inside the doors was a security guard at a desk, and I could see people behind windows. There was no one else waiting, so I stood on the first circle, which, as you remember, said "wait here," and waited. A couple of people left. One younger woman came out with a child and was helping him with his shoes. She asked me if I was waiting for a ride, and I said, "No, I have an appointment." She said, "There were chairs inside to wait." And I said, "But it says to wait here." Of course, it does. I did go in and asked the guard, and he said he thought I was just on my phone or something. Am I the only one that follows instructions like this? I think I'd responded to that to say that would have been probably from the COVID days, and when they had to make sure that not too many people were in the room. Now, you would have thought that once all that's over that they would have removed those signs and considered that some people might take it literally. But there we go. We live in a world where people just don't understand the way we think, and they don't consider that maybe they need to think that we are going to be affected terribly and waiting outside while other people are sitting in comfort. Anyway. Well, that's all the autistic moments that I've been able to provide because I've forgotten my own. I hope you enjoyed episode 57 with Rini Pochetti and the planner, which I now have, my wife has, and we're starting to use that now and already started to put details, including in the blank pages. We're putting in, she's putting in ideas or things like shows to watch on TV that she's been suggested, that kind of stuff. Taking it off various bits of papers and starting to put them into this single book, which is a much neater way of dealing with it. The only thing she's dealing with is that she tends to write big. So she's got to make a little accommodation to write a bit smaller in this. But either way, it's been pretty awesome. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And this week we've got a really exciting episode, a really exciting interview, because this is the person that I first spoke to outside of family and close friends, like, Bianca and Jen and all, and family, who kept saying to me, "I think you're autistic." But this is the person I reached out to first, only because they had made a comment on one of my rants or something on Facebook, and they went into the messages and just sent me a little message to agree or whatever. But I noticed that they had that little AU at the end of the name, and I started to read her posts and started to discover, oh, okay, so this person's autistic. And I really appreciated she just seemed to have her head around all this stuff, and I know she would totally not agree necessarily with that, but as it turns out, she is someone who's actually very, very respected and quite well known. And the weird thing was that I'd said to her, "Would you come on the podcast?" And then, like what I've just been saying before, I forgot all about it. And then as I was doing some research for my event next year, her name showed up in the board of one of these groups. And I went, "Oh my God, I got to get back in touch with her. Kathy, do you still want to come on? So thankfully she completely understood how our brains work, and she's decided to come on and speak to me, and it's just been the best conversation. Even like, okay, so when you're messaging people via text or a messenger or Instagram, whatever, you get this, you can feel this rapport, and you can feel like, oh, we've just got this, it's an easy way of doing it. And I don't know, you tell me, but I think most cases that would work when you start to communicate in other methods like, face-to-face or over a phone or anything like that. So I had a good feeling that it was going to be a great conversation, and it actually did. It ended up turning out to be such a great conversation. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Kathy now. Now, I love this. I got to use Goblin Tools, which I try to do every day. Not because I have to, because I want to. And I got a great little sort of bio. It's not really a bio. It's really interesting. I love if you go onto her LinkedIn, I love when it says under the About section, it says, why do I love what I do? I really think that's an awesome way to introduce yourself. And I thought I'd just provide that. But I used the formalizer and Goblin Tools just to make it a bit shorter. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I'm just spruiking the fact that, on a previous episode, oh my God, I talk about Goblin Tools all the time because I just love it. And I think it's very useful for all of us. So Kathy focuses on client-centered care that honours individual beliefs, families and passions, allowing people to be themselves. Her background as a palliative care nurse and as an autistic woman equips her to support autistic individuals in healthcare. She collaborates with clients and families to identify key issues and find evidence-based solutions aligned with their values. Her role amplifies the autistic voice, ensuring their needs are met while bridging communication between them and medical professionals. Okay, so Kathy, as we've just said, was a registered nurse, a palliative care nurse. She's been a chair at the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network of Australia and New Zealand. Try and say that quickly. She's also been a chairperson for the Autistic Room Australia. She's currently a CRM administrator and has just had quite a fascinating, varied background in work and life. So I welcome Kathy Isaacs, and I look forward to you all getting to hear our conversation. And here it be. Yeah, well, I think, and particularly for me, it's so funny because I'm just like a middle-aged white guy, and so I'm also the diversity and inclusion ambassador at work, which is always funny because I just see these people's faces who are new to the company, whatever. They're like, oh, really? In this as well? Really? You couldn't find someone diverse? So I'm fairly open.
He's going to go in there going, I'm autistic.
Flap, flap.
Yeah. What is it?
Yep.
What's the quote? You've got to walk before you can run. You've got to run before you can fly. Well, me, I just flap and and all I've got to show for it is autism diagnosis.
Yeah, you've got to flap before you can talk. Oh, God. So that's what I'm very open with people about the neurodivergence at work. And so it makes that easy. And I think I always find it important to say, just, not like, oh, do you know? It's more like I'll fit it into the conversation somewhere, So it's just like, oh, okay, so now I get why this guy is in this. But I love it. I'm really passionate about it. So we'll as I said, we'll skip past like the intro because you know who you are. But I do want to ask one thing I noticed in there, because I don't know what it means, is that you completed the Sylvia Roger Academy governance program. What in the world does that mean?
Okay, so Autism CRC have an associated academy, which is leadership, governance and research programs for autistic adults.
Yep.
Originally, it was run by somebody who was neurodivergent but not autistic, who's the executive officer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just trying to think, all of the team members, apart from Liv, the executive officer, are autistic.
Okay.
And all of the programs have been written by autistic adults. They are presented by autistic adults.
Wow.
I know, right? So this is one of the things I love about my workplace is that they've put sort of structures in place
Yeah.
that allow autistic people to come in and take over.
Yes. Yeah. Utilize the skills without the, which is the term that I always use now for me is the unmasking is director says cut face. So,
Say
getting
that
to
again?
be director says cut face. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of the team's conversations, you're animated and you're showing, big smiles and that sort of stuff. But as soon as you press hang up, my face just goes from smiling to just
Yeah,
nice and, relaxed
exactly.
and no expression. That's what I mean about being in that sort of situation where you can feel completely comfortable. Oh my God, without having to have those conversations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can say to my boss, do you know what? I'm just spinning on this at the moment. I'm going to take a couple of hours off and come back to it.
Yep.
Just walk off in the middle of the day and work later
Mm.
in the afternoon, like in
Yep.
the evening. And it's understood.
Yes.
It's got.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I think it should be
look,
appreciated.
it's not perfect. It's not by any means perfect.
Yeah.
But no workplace is ever going to be perfect, and it's
No.
just a,
Yeah, it's and that's what I suppose we're working towards, and me being in that sort of diversity inclusion sort of role, I am trying to make at least my company realize the value of neurodivergent minds, the way we go about doing things, which may not fit their normal working hours sort of thing, as you said, or whatever formats they have or whatever processes they have. But, I enjoy creating processes. I enjoy all that sort of stuff. And so I'm loving being able to sort of put in my 2 cents. But my God, it is hard to get when I want responses now. So I find that incredibly frustrating. And I can't just say, you need to give me a response now. You're going to drive me insane if I have to wait any longer, But they don't understand that. It's,
this is where you need wording. You need
Yes.
to find the wording that works.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant when you're saying things like, we work with not just the Autism CRC, but we've also got, it's like a spin-off social enterprise
Oh,
where we take the app that we've developed for running the Autism CRC and we sell that onto other CRCs.
okay.
So that means that I'm talking to a lot of people who don't get autism on a daily
Right.
basis.
Oh.
Sorry, no, they're mostly researchers, so they might not actually they might not actually realize that they would get autism if they just took a little bit of time to think about how they process things. But
Exactly.
anyway,
Yeah, they had a little, quiet inner monologue to think
they
about.
haven't,
Oh, then tick,
they
tick,
haven't
tick.
got their head in that space yet, but that's all right. But having words like, look, I have an auditory processing delay. Do you
Me too.
think you could possibly email me these questions
Yes.
or email me this information?
I've done that.
Using the auditory processing delay, it sounds very official. It's
Yes.
absolutely, it's 100% true
Yes.
because that is part of my autistic
Yep.
makeup.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just, that makes sense to people, even though they don't have any idea what it means, but it's got all the right words in it. Whereas if I
Yeah.
said, I'm autistic, could you, it just sounds like, I'm a whiny little bitch, could you please
Yeah.
send me this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm special. And that happens. That does happen.
Yeah.
That sort of that's the sort of the head to the side going, that's amazing. You're
It's so good that
amazing.
you can, yeah.
Oh, how do you do it? It's
Interesting
hard.
question. How do I do it?
Yeah, how do I
Look,
don't know.
it's an
That's what I'm
uphill
trying to figure
battle
out.
talking to people who, look at me like inspo porn, but
Oh, I was going to ask too, because we're talking about autism. Have you been diagnosed with ADHD or
I
any
have.
other ism or whatever?
I have. That's actually a conversation that came up during the governance program, that
Okay.
autistic people without ADHD are becoming a subgroup, a minority
They
group
are.
within the autistic community.
Yep.
And it's, one of my close friends is the one who brought this up originally and said, I don't have ADHD and I'm actually not processing this the same way that most of this group are. Could
Wow.
we slow it all down, please?
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's
she's
interesting.
very strong to have said that.
Yes. Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, it took a few years before I went and got the official one myself, but after the kids had, and it was just. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that, because I want to take us back now to, and I'll put it down here. Hang on, let me just find where I've put this information. Okay, a little stroll back to 2017. Okay, so we've got, and I had a look to see what was going on at that time because it just feels like it was so long ago. We've got the deadliest mass shooting in modern US history, which was in Las Vegas. There was the terror attacks in London, but the Ariana Grande concert in Westminster Bridge. There was the same-sex marriage postal survey. The biggest movie was Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and the biggest album was Taylor Swift's Reputation. So that's where we were at that time in 2017 when we sort of started to connect on Facebook. And I think it was just you made some comment about when I was having a bit of a rant or something on there at that time when I wasn't stopping that. And it was then that I sort of noticed, I saw the little AU at the end of the name and I didn't know what that meant. And you know what I mean? And at that particular time in my life, my son had been diagnosed. My daughter we were trying to get her diagnosed. My wife was trying to say to me, why aren't you going to get diagnosed? And I was adamant that I was not autistic because I found a book and I, was checking checkboxes and things like that. And I'm like, my self-evaluation after all these years was within my masking sort of world. And so I just didn't see that me. I did not see it. And so that was where I was when I started to, I thought, well, she seems to know a little bit of this sort of stuff. So I'm just going to ask. I'm just going to ask somebody who's not my wife, or someone who's close telling me that it's so obvious, And so, yeah, I talked about that, about my son and daughter. It's raised questions about myself. I talked about how I used to work with kids, autistic kids in my 20s. And I said, I'm wondering whether it's worth me going through the process. And that's the first time I actually raised that question with them, like for myself and then with someone else, And so we started having a bit of a back and forth. You were talking about sort of self-identification. You still feel that that's a legitimate thing to just be self?
Yeah, look, it's absolutely valid.
Yep.
I would say I'm going to take a wild guess and say of the nearly 200 people that I know who self-identified before getting a diagnosis or who still self-identify.
Yes.
There's only a couple of people that I don't get that strong, yes, you definitely are sense.
Yep. Okay. And so most of those people who do go through that process usually end up, it's like,
I heard somebody say a little while ago, and in their context, it was talking about variable mobility. And so, having a wheelchair when you can still stand up and walk a few steps.
Yes. Yep.
And the comment that was made to them was that people who don't need a wheelchair do not dream about having one. They do not wish deeply that they could have one. People who are not autistic, or at the very least are not neurodivergent, do not go deeply into, could I be? Am I? Like, it's not something that crosses most people's mind.
Well, I think there's barriers, that there's certain cultural concepts about what it is and isn't, and a lot of negativity. There's, going, as I said, back in the 90s when I was doing this work, I wouldn't have been diagnosed. My kids wouldn't have been.
And part of the reason that you wouldn't have been diagnosed is that it's only been since 2015 that you could have a dual autism ADHD diagnosis.
Yep. Yep.
If you had an ADHD diagnosis, you were excluded from having an autism diagnosis.
It's crazy.
And now they're saying 85, 90% of autistic people.
Yep. And it's an interesting relationship between the two. It really is a very interesting relationship. I still trying to wrap my bloody head around, my daughter and I are very similar in the way that our ADHD, I was about to say interfaces.
Interfaces is good. I was going to say affects me, but that's a bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bit
Well,
medicalised.
ours is inattentive, whereas my wife, who just got diagnosed ADHD, and my son are the bouncing off the walls type. So it's very, very different. And so it's so funny that there's two of each in the household,
Yeah.
which could be very fun. You also said that you, as far as going for that, when I asked should I go through the process, you said you found it a reassuring process because you can spend most of your life believing you're broken, faulty, to have that. Yeah. That's exactly the experience I had. I was shit scared when I was waiting for him to come back and at the end of it to say,
I know.
I thought, oh my God.
It's terrifying. There was a week between my diagnostic interview and my going back and getting the diagnosis.
I think he told me straight away.
Yeah.
Which may say a lot.
I had been told that would be the case. Like they do the interview and then you do your paperwork and you send that back to them and you do quizzes and things and send that back to them and then they draw it all together and
that's right.
The week later. Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly that's what happened. Yes. Yeah,
yes.
that's
my diagnostician said to me, "Do you know what? All these notes in the margins, they're not diagnostic, but they probably should be."
Oh, of course. Well, it's still problematic now, isn't it? Because of the sort of male-centric way that those diagnostic processes have been built.
But it's also, you read a question and, do you always do things the same way? I originally answered that question, no or unsure or something like that. And my husband looked at it and he said, "When you go to Hungry Jack's, what do you have?" And I said, "Waffles, cheese, mustard, tomato and onion." And I was like, okay. That's the note in the margin. It's like some things, like I will deliberately choose to go different ways home just to try out different things.
Yes,
so I can't be autistic because I don't do things the same way every time.
And yet, yeah, I've been back in the city after being in South Melbourne for it was 5 years there, or 4 years, and then 2 years in the city, and I have essentially, I think, farther than once or twice, gone to the same restaurant for lunch, the same place, and had one of two meals, depending on my my mood and whether I was going to have something similar over the next few days. And I would, to the point where I would walk, I'd be very mindful of this, and then I go and walk around to other places to see, I might go and try this one out. And I would walk, I would see, and I'd say, okay, well, I'm going in here, but then I just kept walking. and be shocked and sort of really confused. Why didn't I walk in? And then I just turn around and I go walk back to the same restaurant I usually go to, even if it's like another 15 minutes out of my way.
Yeah,
it's madness.
Yeah, another one, and part of that, I'm going to seek out something different. That I believe that's sort of associated with the ADHD side of things,
right?
Because it's that processing.
Yes.
But on the other side, and it's not quite polar opposites, but there's the OCD side of things. Yes. I had a friend who had OCD and was autistic, and her comment on that was that the two things look, from an external person looking in, they look like the same thing. They look like they're doing the same thing. But for an autistic person, the sameness is about, well, do you know what? I know that I like that.
Yeah.
And I might not like something else. And then I've wasted money and, I could have just gone and had the thing that I know that I like.
Yep.
Whereas for an OCD person, there's it's kind of a magical thinking or a massive anxiety response of the world is going to end if I don't do this thing or these
Yes.
things in this order,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
and I can't break that because something
Yeah.
will go very wrong. Now
Yeah.
that's, I think, oversimplification of it, and
I
that was
get
what
it.
she
Yeah.
said, that it's oversimplification,
Yeah.
but it's really an autistic preference for sameness is about food is a good example. Textures, that place might have a texture that I don't like. It might have an ingredient
Yes.
that I don't like, and this place doesn't.
Exactly. I don't, because I got IBS and I know that that's not going to hurt me by going
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, that's so funny. We just saw this discussion between autism and ADHD. I started getting, because I mean, it's always music for me. I started getting the Odd Couple theme popping up in my head. Do, 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 do. You know, what a great sitcom that would be. You know, I think I need to name them just to create a visualization of the battle that goes on. You know, I think it would help me make sense to create that sort of like dichotomy, like the two different characters in the same head of, you know, having this argument. Well, for Christ's sake, would you just go into that bloody restaurant? Try it out. It's going to be exciting. We'll try something new. No.
But what if they've got mushrooms?
Yeah, they'll have bloody onion powder on something, and they won't tell me. You know, so we're not doing that. We're going back to the other place.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh God.
So yes.
So I want to quickly move through. We had a big discussion that went back and forth, and it was awesome. It was just awesome because we were talking about things like, what have we got here? Various quirks, the enjoyment of isolation at times, not being able to recognize faces, that sort of face blindness, and then you actually were the person I'd forgotten this. You were the person who recommended the clinic that I ended up getting. I'm still seeing the psychologist there, and obviously got my diagnosis through them as well.
Awesome.
And you were the one who recommended it to me.
I can't remember who that was.
ASD clinic.
Oh, ASD clinic in Kew.
Yeah. And they've been wonderful. Just wonderful, you know?
Excellent. Oh,
So,
really good.
I've said thank you on the messages a few times, and I usually on here, what my previous host would always say at the end, would try to make me give her a compliment all the time. So it's always hard for me. I hate doing compliments, but I'm still trying to do it. So thank you. Thank you for helping me get through that first step. This is why I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing it because of that conversation that we had and how important it was for me and how much it helped. And so I want to do that for other people as well. So that's why I'm doing this.
And can I just say, now I realize this is a podcast, but I'm looking at your face in this during this meeting, and just the joy when you're talking about autistic experience and the things that have changed for you since that conversation, the joy of autism, the joy of being autistic and sharing that and knowing it and embracing it. I see that so much now in a lot of people that, you know, that wasn't even available to autistic people 20 years ago, that joy. No. Well, it probably was, but it was only just starting to be recognised that it was a type of, like a neurotype, not a pathology.
No. Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. If we had a very different world where we were the majority, the world would just be set up to suit us.
Differently,
you know? And they would be the...
Like, there would be no such thing as those hand dryers in toilets that you don't even have to press the button for, but if you accidentally stick your shoulder underneath it, it turns on. Yeah, that happened. That happened today. Frightened the crap out of me.
Okay, all right. What the hell was that? That happened.
Actually,
it was my wife sneezes.
I actually, loudly said that in a restaurant bathroom.
Whenever my wife sneezes, it's so loud. I get such a shock every time, and I'm like, Jesus H Christ, what the hell? Like sudden reactions.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So anyway, so thank you very much, and it's put me on this journey, which is something, it's made me very happy. It's, there's sadnesses as well. Obviously, I talk about this a lot, which is that sort of mourning what could have been, mourning who you could have been, what you could have been. All those things are things that you have to accept and kind of just deal with it. And then for me, let's try to find all the positives. Let's find all the other things. And what the psychiatrist said to me, give yourself a break sometimes. Just give yourself a break. And that's powerful words.
It's something that I struggle with, actually, that giving yourself permission to have a break, giving yourself permission to stand and stare out a window for a while. Actually, the staring out the window in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, I had first my mum and then my stepfather died.
Right.
And I'm carer now for my younger brother who's got an intellectual disability.
Right.
But he lives down southwest Victoria. And he's by himself in the family home, but with a carer there most of the time. But for the first 6 weeks, when we were trying to work through the NDIS to get the extra supports in place, I was just down there, and I spent a lot of time staring off into space. And that staring off into space, like just looking through the kitchen window across, there's a sort of a paddocky thing next door, staring out across that paddock and just not moving for half an hour. And I hadn't realised just how healing that is. And it's something that I hadn't allowed myself to do for years.
Oh, were you quiet? Your mind was quiet? It wasn't...
Yeah, there was not that frantic activity all the time.
Right. Do you think it was the situation you were in, being back in a place that you know...
Yeah, the place that's actually quite right. The place that I had struggled so badly with in childhood.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't have to be doing anything. There was nothing that I needed to be doing for a lot of the time. My husband was home looking after the kids, like home here in Melbourne, looking after the kids.
Yep.
I was just down there, having collected all of the information about the police people who had come and broken the news to me.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So that I could drive through the Ring of Steel to go out of Melbourne to go down to Southwest
of course.
Vic. Yeah. And I was like, and
right.
I had this letter in my hand when they pulled me over.
Yeah.
I just looked at the person, I looked at the letter, I looked at the person, I burst into tears, and he goes, "That's all right, off you go."
Yep. I think there's been a few of those sorts of stories.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Oh, my God. I will explain the Ring of Steel. I would have done that already on the edit.
Yeah.
For people.
The Ring of Steel. Oh, yeah, for people who didn't have it or don't remember it or,
Yeah, it was a little bit different.
It was it was just everything at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, very strange. Yeah, very different. I was happy. I liked it.
Yes, I said that too, but I still have, I don't know, a little bit of trauma from it.
Of course, but you had these family members, and that had happened to me before COVID.
Yeah, no,
had to go through all that.
It was the COVID, the shutdowns and lockdowns and things themselves.
Right.
I've got a little bit of trauma from that. I'm still still agoraphobic. Not as badly as I was, but
right. That's interesting.
I don't like going and doing things that aren't necessary. I will order my groceries online.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep. Oh, that's interesting. Now, you were just talking about, so you said it was your mother and
then my stepfather.
Your stepfather. You were in palliative care for a few years. So I want to understand just what that experience was like. Were you diagnosed when you were doing that work?
Yes, I was.
You were? Okay.
Sorry, I got diagnosed towards the end of doing that work.
Okay. How did that all sort of work in? Was that something you thought about?
Yes.
Were you good at the job?
I was bloody good at the job. I still miss it.
And I think I would be very good at that job as well, because I was extremely, uh, what's the word? I was a solid person when I was in my 20s, when my mum passed away and when she was going through cancer. She was the person I relied on back then. Same thing with my grandmother and grandfather when they were going through that process in palliative care, and I would just spend all my time with her, and it's something I could do, and it's something I would be very good at doing. Which
Yeah.
I suppose the context of what I'm trying to say is that most allistics would think that would be terrible at this work. Yeah. So why do you think you were so good at this?
It's an interesting question, and I have thought about this quite a bit. One part of what can make you very good in palliative care is that if you're alexithymic, meaning that if you have struggle to read your own emotions,
Yep.
you can use that in your favor to be able to put it aside while you help somebody else.
Yep. That's me.
Yep, absolutely. Another thing is that it uses all of you. It's brain and sort of a heart for support.
Yes.
So
Yep.
there is a lot of sort of really quite out there symptom management. When I say out there, I mean little practical things that you can suggest to help people. So if somebody's been having chemo, or if they've got some kind of disease process that is
Yep.
causing them to feel nauseated first thing in the morning,
Okay. Right. Yep.
you can suggest things like having a little packet of salted, like salt biscuits next to the
Yep.
bed,
Yep.
and have something first thing in the morning, something salty first thing in the morning.
Yep.
And that can change somebody's life. That little thing can change somebody's life.
It's a practical thing.
A little practical
Yeah.
thing that is
Yeah.
not medical, that is human.
Yes. Yes.
It's a human connection.
Thoughtful.
Hmm?
Thoughtful.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
recognizing the bigness of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and having a mind that will not necessarily try to go through always the same things. This is going to be a little bit gross. I had somebody who had a throat cancer.
Yes. Yep.
And so basically she was on a liquid diet. And
Yes.
she said, what I miss more than anything else is salad.
Oh.
And I said, have you tried just chewing it and then spitting it into a hanky, into a tissue? And she said, I never thought of that. And she did it. And the next week, or the next time I went back, she said, it's enough.
Yeah. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You experienced that sensation, and wow, it's like that is that's like positive bulimia. You know what I mean? It's a really good thing. It's like you're getting it it's there, and then you get to spit it out. That's really, it's practical, but from this work is also very you're providing an emotional support as well. And as we know, empathy is a very strong thing, but it's a different kind of empathy than the neurotypical person would understand, because they may not necessarily see a lot of that empathy going, in front of their eyes.
What the old idea of autistic people are not empathetic comes
Yeah.
from is that people who have got minds very similar to each other can understand the world from the same kind of place, whereas people whose minds are different
Yeah.
will understand the world from a different perspective. I have
Yeah.
heard it described as if you've got people and each person is standing in a well and they're looking up at the sky. People whose wells are close to each other will see the same bit of sky.
Yep.
But somebody whose well is halfway around the world, it's going to be dark. It might be raining. It might, it's a very different piece of the world that they see.
Yep.
And it's like that, if you've got people and, people talking and saying, oh, well, the sky is blue, there are white clouds, and somebody's going, no, the sky is black, there's stars all over the place.
Yeah. Yep.
It doesn't mean that anyone's wrong. It just means that this large group over here who all agree are seeing a different thing to the person who's seeing the night sky with the stars.
Yep. Yep. They're both right.
Yeah. And that concept, and that comes back to the concept of double empathy, which
Yep.
people might be aware of from the work of Damien Milton.
I almost talked about it in the last episode, but I
Oh,
was
was
like,
it? Oh,
yeah.
convenient.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about it, because I didn't in the end. I ran out of time.
That's fine. We'll probably run out of time again.
Everyone Google double empathy because it is really interesting. It is.
It really is. Essentially what it's saying is that empathy goes two ways, and autistic people work very hard most of the time to try to understand allistic people because allistic people are the majority, and that's what we're expected to be. But
Yep.
allistic people do not understand autistic people.
Mm.
That doesn't make that our fault. It's like,
that's right.
I don't understand you. That's my fault. You don't understand me. Also my fault.
Yeah.
It's not. Yep. It's that mismatch of communication style, mismatch of understanding of the world, the way you perceive the world, the way you interface with the world.
Yeah, that's right. It's totally true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a concept I did talk about on the last episode regarding this, about someone's sort of theory of why we think differently, and it was quite interesting in that she was sort of talking about holistic people would be more concerned with the social cohesion than they are about the truth and what matters, those sort of moral groundworks that can be very important to us, where we're not going to, if we've got someone who is in our family that we don't necessarily agree with, we're not just going to always just let it slide. We want to, but sometimes, like, I never did. But but now I'm like, I don't think I could hold back anymore.
There's Terry Pratchett quote. Forgive me, everyone who talks to me on a regular basis. I do quote Terry Pratchett quite a bit.
Yeah, he's good.
Personal is not the same as important.
All right, I like that.
Yep. So when there are two things that need to be done, the personal or the interpersonal, a lot of people say that is, this is personal, it's got to be important. But sometimes the important thing to do is not necessarily the personal thing to do.
Yep.
Sometimes, and that, it kind of sums up the difference.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Personal and there's important, and which is not to say that somebody who perceives the personal as important is wrong.
Yep.
It's just a different way of looking at it.
It sort of falls into what I was talking about, comfort, and how my process of going through various belief systems and understandings about myself and self-reflection, it didn't matter to me at all if it was going to be uncomfortable. But for a lot of people, it is the most important thing. Yes. It gives me comfort, whatever it may be. And my answer is, so what?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It doesn't get you any closer to understanding something, the truth of something, as deeply as you can.
Yes.
And I just get these looks. I've often been told, well, you just think differently. That was before the diagnosis. That happened to me all the time. But you're just different, Daniel. You're different.
Yeah. Except, Dan, welcome home. Well, welcome to your family, your kin. You're not just different. You are you're different in a way that's one of us. One of us.
I just remembered then on my diary at school in year 12, I had a quote that says, "Don't be different to be different. Be different to be better."
Ah.
All the way back then.
That look, sort of concept I used to have a magnet on my fridge that said, what was it? Being average scares the hell out of me. Dare to be average.
I dare to be average. That's right. Yeah.
I added the dare to be average. The other
accepted.
One was.
It is. It's fun. It's fun to do that. It's like a game.
It's undermining this whole thing of you have to be special. It's like we are. No. We've been told we're different our entire lives. Yeah. Let's just don't have to
I say
cry.
congratulations when people to sort of join. We got a private page so people can be a little bit more open and not be concerned about other
Yeah.
people hearing and seeing what they're saying. And yeah, every time someone goes through that process and gets a diagnosis, I'm like,
Yep.
congratulations on joining Group Awesome.
Yep. Look, we used to
know.
do certificates.
Mm.
Congratulations, here's your certificate of officialness.
Yeah. Well, officialness. That's all. That's a good segue. I've got little songs for segues too. If it's a crappy segue, if it's a good segue. But that's a good one. So
A really good segue.
You're in a number of boards. So you're part of the Autistic Realm Australia.
Realm.
Realm.
Autistic Realm. Tara.
Why can't I say Realm? What's wrong with Realm?
Well, you can say realm. I've never heard it said real, but that's
Really?
okay.
I'm
not on Reframing Autism anymore. That
Right.
I've been away from them for a while.
Okay, yep, cool.
Tara, we just had our AGM today.
Yep.
And I'm on the board of Amaze, yeah.
Amaze, yep.
And I was on the board of ASAN, the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network.
Okay, right.
Yeah, in fact, during 2020, I was chair of ASAN, chair of Tara, and chair of Reframing Autism. And then all of those things happened in my life, and I just went bloop, 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 and I sort of stepped back from everything.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was, that giving myself permission to step back from everything when I needed to, that was good.
Absolutely. What sort of things did you do as a board member? What were some of the I suppose the common, like across them all? Was there some commonalities to the sort of things you were wanting to work towards?
I think the commonality for all of them, particularly the autistic-led organisations I'm going to talk about primarily, the commonality is trying to get the autistic voice heard in autism research or in autism supports or service providers or clinicians, trying to get the autistic perspective out there, understood and heard.
Legitimised.
Yes, legitimised. That was more of an end goal, but certainly heard is like the thing that we were working to the most strongly. It's getting heard now.
Yes.
It's starting to get heard.
It's starting.
Everything. Yes.
I use the term zeitgeist quite a lot. I like that term.
Yes.
And for anything to get done in this many cultures, there has to be a zeitgeist, which is why the same-sex marriage managed to get through. Because for a lot of people, they like to be part of the popular group, and they were team marriage for everyone, and it became a popular thing. I think it's starting to become a little bit more, and because of like some of the media, TV shows, things like that, sort of started to expand a little bit beyond, Rain Man sort of. It's not great, but it's still, you can see that it's growing. Have you been watching any of the shows? Like, have you seen Michael Theo in his new show?
No.
Michael Theo.
I'm sorry. I know who you're talking about, and I've seen an
Austin.
advert. No,
Austin.
I haven't seen a lot of TV recently.
It's wonderful.
Is it good?
It's just amazing. He was great because we loved him on Love on the Spectrum, and so we managed to speak to him. And I did a little acting skit with him because he's, I saw that he was into acting, and so I got to do a little skit with him. And all of a sudden now he's like this amazing, and he always was. He's a great actor, and he's got his own show that's now getting a second season. He's just so good in it. It's wonderful to see. That stuff I love. I love that kind of stuff. And have you seen the one also? There's one on media students where they're speaking to sort of prominent people like the Prime Minister and so forth.
Oh, media students, yes. I'm quite good friends with somebody who was one of the.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the journalists.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and I started to see at least one of them actually just appearing on ABC, just legitimately in news reports and so forth, which is really good. She was my favourite too. But that's the sort of stuff I do like seeing, and I think that is that zeitgeist thing that we're talking about, But for you, how old were you when you got your first diagnosis?
43.
43? Okay, I was 49.
I don't know. What year is it? Yeah, it would have been 43.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do maths to help you out. I can show you my 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 diagnosis results.
Dyscalculia.
It is really bad. Exactly. I got so excited by that term. I only just heard about it like a couple of months ago, and I just like, yes, those exciting moments. There's a word, there's a term for it.
Right? I
Oh my
know.
God.
Oh, the moment.
You mentioned-
Alexithymia.
That's the other one. Yeah, I mentioned. I found out. I discovered a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I've done an episode already on it.
Yeah, I've got alexithymia. I don't know how I feel about that.
It was something that was just, yeah, it was just something to, as I've been self-assessing after the diagnosis, and then I started to think, oh, yeah, what is that? When I'm not masking, and I'm starting to do a lot less of it, I did notice here, when I'm not masking, there's not a lot of emotion going on, and there's certainly not a lot of understanding of what I'm feeling, you know. And so, yeah, to have that, I think that just helps. Again, people who are thinking of going to get the diagnosis, also look up terms. Look up, just do a little Google to say, I do this or whatever, or talk to your psychologist or someone else, find out and read up about them, because it actually does make you feel really good.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
not bad.
No, it's so reassuring that, this is a normal thing. This is
Yeah.
what the point? This is a thing.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, so, I'm gonna say the word. It's just it's achingly boring for autistic people to have some of these, find out about these things, because it's just so normal. It's just, that is normal to have all these different things, these quirks and these definitions that understand our neurotype.
Yeah.
It's nice. I think it's nice to say, oh yeah, I'm part of a whole group of minds that sort of do similar things.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I want to have
I-
weekly meetings with
I
them.
remember. So I'm a graduate of the governance program from Sylvia Roger, as
Mhm.
you mentioned before, but I also was on the project team this time around.
Okay.
So
Right.
they've run that twice now. But when we did the governance program the first time around, we just had the talk about managing finances and understanding financial reports and things like that.
Okay.
And I can't remember, one of us said something along the lines of, the whole financial focus that the holistic world seems to have, this
Yeah.
thing where everything about money is important. Autistic people tend, on the whole, not to place being wealthy as a highest priority in their lives.
No.
And a couple of the holistic board members that were there having that conversation, they said, oh no, that wouldn't be right. That's not right.
What?
And it's like, we all went, but it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. We're perfectly happy to understand the finances. We understand the purpose of having your finances working for your organisation. But
Yep.
for ourselves, it's just not that important. Oh no, that wouldn't be right. But it is.
And that's right. And having a different kind of way of seeing things, it could also be of credible value
Oh,
from
absolutely.
a financial perspective as well. You can draw some new and interesting ways of making your company or whatever it is make more money.
Exactly. If you have somebody on the company who's got a focus that is not about the financial and the compliance, and somebody who's got a passion for what it. So I've been mostly on autism related organisations.
Okay.
But if you've got people who have got an absolute passion for it and who are connected in to the community that you're working for and with, then your organisation is going to be more relevant, and there it's going to sort of collect more voices, and then you get to the point where the government want to talk to you in so that they can get use your access to other voices. It's that connection to community and that true I don't know, following the purpose that you've got put in front of you, that the organisation is said to be working towards.
Yep. Yep.
If you're actually true to that purpose, your mission, your vision, your values,
Yep.
your organisation is going to be far more consistent and far more valuable. And that's, you know, just you're not you. Sounds
Yes,
off.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Get it off mute.
Yeah, and having that consistency and having that sense of purpose in an organisation, it does help the bottom line. And I mean, when I say the bottom line, I'm not talking about the bottom line as somebody who's got a passion for the purpose has it, but the
Yeah.
bottom line as per the financial,
Yeah.
it will build trust. It will build community.
And innovation.
Yes, it would definitely build innovation.
Exactly. That's an important part of where I work, particularly for training package development, and that sort of different ways of learning and that sort of thing are really important.
Yeah,
and starting to get discussed now. And it's
Yeah.
something the Diversity Council of Australia also say what you're saying a lot as well. Just they provide the stats on how valuable it is to have diverse thinking.
Yes, and a lot of people hear that, you need diversity on your boards, you need diversity in your team, all that kind of thing. And what they hear is 10% of our organisation's time and effort should be fed back into supporting people who are less privileged than us. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
That's not what we're saying.
No,
No.
it's
We would like
actually
to
useful.
adding value. Would you like to have people come and work for you who will add value to what you
Yes.
do in ways that you will never be able to think about, like that you'll never be able to come to some conclusions,
Yep, exactly.
that a truly diverse working group can achieve.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. I've just been working on that for us about the employment opportunities and that sort of stuff. So that's right in the front of the head at the moment.
Yeah.
So when you got your diagnosis, did you go through that whole? Look, we were talking about this before. Did you go through that mourning stage at all?
No, I didn't, but I'd been
reflection.
self-identifying for a while.
Right.
So, look, I think the mourning stage has always been tempered by the fact that I know that if I was diagnosed autistic as a kid,
Yeah.
my experience of that diagnosis and what that meant for me with respect to the way my life went would have been very different to somebody who's diagnosed today.
Yes.
And I would not have liked what happened to me if I had that diagnosis as a child.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way my, peers were as it was, but what, what would have happened with she's got an autism diagnosis. You need to take her out of mainstream school and all that kind of thing. Well, I mean,
you went through that too, didn't you, with your son? Like you had, he was still having those bad experiences.
His experiences were very much more about his reactions to things, and so he would blow up, lose control, and get sent home. And so when I keep remembering the comments that were made, like, we've got a rule in our playground that says sticks and stones stay on the ground. All right. And my son had picked up a stick and he wouldn't let go of it. Now, when somebody says to you, he wouldn't let go of it, that's not he wouldn't drop it. That's I was pulling on the other end of it and he had got hold of it and there was a tug of war going on.
Yep.
It's like, that's not the way to deal with that.
No.
The kid's got a very strong sense of rightness and justice and things like that. And if you work with that, it's like, you don't need to pull the stick away from him. You just need to give real reasons as to why sticks and stones stay on the ground that will make sense to somebody of that age.
Yep.
And he will go, oh, okay, and put it down.
We're talking again about innovative thought and thinking certain ways about these sorts of situations that just aren't really still much available. Schools aren't seeking them out.
Yeah.
They're still trying to resolve it the ways that they know.
Yep.
Comfort again.
Yeah. And with people who like my son, like myself,
Yep.
I've got PDA, pathological demand avoidance, or persistent demand for autonomy, depending on who you listen to.
Oh, interesting. Okay, right.
What that stands for. Then that confrontational approach is just exactly designed to cause yourself, yourself as being the authority figure, cause yourself problems. Don't attack them head on. Work with the kid or the adult for that matter.
My wife uses the PDA acronym quite a lot with me.
No, really?
And I'm pretty good at. I love coming up with acronyms and finding different words using the PDA. And I was thought, please don't argue. That's what I'll call it.
No, I think it's persistent demand for autonomy. I might just.
I hadn't heard of that one before. Yeah. It's a bit more of a positive spin on it instead of
desire, persistent desire for autonomy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. That's much better,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is actually that. I knew that demand wasn't right because that's a negative term. Persistent desire for autonomy is being picked up and taken, not in a clinical sense certainly, but certainly with or pervasive demand for autonomy.
Yeah, I'd like not come across. I just don't know the pathological demand avoidance and
it's that Baader-Meinhof principle. You hear it a lot now.
Oh, great for schools actually to utilise those different explanations instead of that and putting them into a much different light. Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna be using that.
Yeah.
Now look, we've been talking for about 58 bloody minutes, and I do like when Bianca was around, my co-host, we used to do a who knows the person we're interviewing better, and we'd have a little question, and we both see who knows the interviewer better, or the interviewee. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I thought we could do this. We could just do the back and forth and just figure out who gets it right more often. So I've got a couple of things here. So okay, first, well, I suppose before that, just a more generalistic. What are your special interests?
Okay, so I've got 3 things that I'm really passionate about at the moment. Anything autism is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right into sewing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment I'm wearing a top that I sewed myself.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying. You can sort of see all my sewing stuff behind me.
Yeah, my daughter's into that too.
Oh.
Yep.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. I've got rainbow fabrics all lined up in my bookcase. So
wow,
yes, all nicely
awesome.
color coded.
Yeah.
And the third thing, and this is embarrassing. Every time I say this, it's embarrassing. So at work, the app that we've built for supporting other CRCs is built on a platform called Salesforce.
Salesforce. Yep.
I love it. I'm such a Salesforce tragic.
But aren't you doing CRM stuff as well? Isn't that part
of
what
what you do? That is CRM stuff. That's the Salesforce
I do
is the CRM.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, and the building the automations for that and coming up with really interesting ways around problems and that using your brain constantly.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it. Oh, and the other thing that I love with that is that with all of these other CRCs, other people's research.
Okay.
My favourite communication style is info dump. And, info dump me anything you want. Get excited. Please get excited about your special interest.
Do you, when you're reading studies, do you go straight to the conclusion first?
Oh, abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Look,
not
I
the
go to
abstract,
the
but the
abstract.
conclusion at the bottom, right at the bottom.
No, abstract.
Yeah.
I usually get about paragraph and a half into the introduction. I go, this is rubbish. I skip to the results, and then I skip to the conclusion. Or discussion and conclusion.
Yep. That's yeah. It's like, it feels like that's the holistic part up there. Like, oh, for God's sakes, enough of the babble. One of my favorite tools I use on a daily basis is, and my brain tells me to forget the word all the time, which is really annoying because it's something I use constantly every day, and I have to sit there and think, what is the name of this bloody thing? It's called Goblin Tools.
Oh, yeah, I love Goblin Tools.
Goblin Tools is the best. It's just amazing. Based on what you were talking about before, is how you respond. How I used it in the ways I respond to people at work and lots of other things as well. But yeah, it's that sort of stuff is incredibly helpful at times. Because it's unwaffle is a good one. Like that's what you want to do. You could chuck all that in there and just say unwaffle.
Yes.
Let's get to the meat and veg about what this is all about.
I love ChatGPT actually.
Me too.
All sorts of things, but one of the things that I've done recently with ChatGPT is basically I shoved a whole bunch of text from a paper in it and said, "Can you summarise this in 2 sentences?"
Yep.
Oh, they're great.
All the time.
Yep. Actually,
all the time.
Favorite thing that I've done very recently for ChatGPT is I asked it for writing quotes. Prompts. Writing prompts.
Oh.
And what I said, hang on a sec, I might actually just I'll remember. What I said was I want writing prompts set in a modern fantasy setting using the themes that we have discussed through our discussions, my discussion with ChatGPT.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was so funny. There were some brilliant ones. I've got to find this one. I'm sorry, I know we're getting close to time, but I've just got to find this one.
It's crazy though, this stuff.
Just hilarious. No Room for Mushrooms was the title it gave me. In a magical cooking competition where every dish influences the emotions and choices of the tasters, a team with wildly different dietary restrictions and preferences must find creative ways to craft the ultimate harmony-inducing meal. It's brilliant!
Jeez. That's why AI is fantastic, because it actually enables you to sort of skip past the annoying bits at the start and just go, okay, that's great. Now let me think about this.
Exactly.
Let me get to the fun stuff.
Adaptive Charms was the other one that I liked. A group of older, cheeky, magical beings from a former collective to protect the city's balance. Each member has unpredictable day-to-day variations in their abilities, forcing them to rely on each other and embrace their dynamic natures.
That's awesome. There's so much. Yeah, this is your Terry Pratchett interest coming to shine.
It is, but it's just the ideas that come out of that. That
exactly,
it just starts things rolling. That's why I love prompts. That's why I love writing prompts.
Yeah,
it starts you thinking.
It's almost like if you're in a hurry, it skips past you having to get into that state of where you get that artistic state to begin the process. I find sometimes it's doing that, it sort of skips you past that bit, and it gives you the inspiration straight away to get on with it.
And writing prompts have been around forever.
Yeah,
and the two pieces of writing that two people will come up with a different writing prompt.
Yeah,
brilliant. Like it's amazing.
I used to sit in the train and set myself a task of writing a story that has to finish at the station I'm about to get off. It has to conclude. And so, I called the train diaries, and I've just got all these little stories, and you were talking about Terry Pratchett, just reminded me of one where some sort of very serious English lady in her 70s was whisked away to some fantasy land with gnomes and goblins and that sort of stuff. And how would she deal with
I
these,
get that. I think what I've seen there was that a meme that you saw?
No, I just wrote it. Like, it's something I
Oh,
just wrote on the
really?
train. Yeah, and I just thought, this is hilarious.
Oh,
I
because
think I thought of
I
Mabel.
remember someone like there's a meme that goes around every now and then that says, "Why are these chosen ones always teenagers? Like, why would you pick the
Yeah.
most unstable group of people
Yeah.
to be the chosen one? Why would you not have an octogenarian,
Exactly.
traveling
Mabel
around
would
the
not
world
be flustered.
with their
She would
stabby knitting needles?
exactly. She wouldn't be flustered by an orc. She just wouldn't.
No.
How dare you? It would be awesome fun.
Yeah, and
I've always
that
wanted to
comes back.
expand.
That comes back to Terry Pratchett's witches. It's like the they're very sensible and very different, each of them, but just they're all in their 70s and 80s, and it's like just
I've got to read more of his books.
yeah.
I've only read a few.
I've got all of them on Audible, and I listen to them on rotation.
Yeah, Audible. That's the way to go. So we already know then what your favourite book is, because I had that down on the list. What do you think? What do you think would be my favourite sort of book, or even book genre?
That's interesting. I think you probably enjoy things that are a blend of story with philosophy.
Yes.
So
Yep.
the one that comes to mind, the first book I ever read that really broadened my mind was Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which
I read it. Yep.
read when I was in year 10, and it
Yep.
was just like, oh, this is amazing. And that moving in and out of thought process and philosophy, and
Yeah.
then into the story of
That's
traveling
hilarious.
on the bikes.
My favourite book at that time, and I'd read that as well, but it's called The Adventures of Wim, Whim, by Luke Reinhardt, who did The Dice Man.
Yes, I've had that recommended to me previously, and I had forgotten.
He rewrote it, so it's actually
in a good way.
I haven't even bothered to try and read the new one. The first one was perfect. Why would you change it? Oh God, yeah, that's exactly the sort of stuff you're just talking about. That's what I love. Absolutely love that stuff.
Well, look,
So there you
I
go.
mean, and you got to realize Terry Pratchett's got all of that philosophy.
Yes. Yep.
Like the Vimes
He
Boots
does.
theory of socio-economic unfairness,
Yep.
whereby a rich person can buy a $50 pair of boots and it'll still be keeping their feet dry in 10 years, but a poor person can only buy a $10 pair of boots, and they will have spent $100 on boots
Yes. Yeah.
by the end of the 10 years, and their feet will still be wet.
Oh God, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. There's just got those so many elements to it, don't they? It's like funny, but there's also it's some thinking.
So much thought to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
There's that undercurrent of anger at injustice, and
exactly, yeah.
He's got my kind. Well, had I guess, but my kind of anger. It's like when you see the world and you go, but that's not right, and then that ties back to what we were saying about what's important and what's fair.
Yeah, even if it's a stick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what about favorite smell or scent? I'm going to say, and there's nothing. I'm getting nothing from the background other than I wonder if there's like what if you like the smell of certain jellies, like a grape jelly or something like that, something like that's got that sort of...
Not grape, but I've always said that the only smells I can tolerate consistently are food type smells.
Yeah. Okay.
So, dab of vanilla behind your ears rather than
the best
perfumes.
Yeah. Well, you should check out Wilderness Labs. As you can see that I've interviewed
Tasmanian Gold. Okay,
So
what
that's
is
the
it?
one I'm on. It's basically a perfume that's actually, it's a bar. So you can see it's a solid bar that you can just sort of rub your hands. And I use it because I love the smell of it. So
What
I
is
put it
it?
on my
What does it
beard.
smell like?
This one is, I can't remember. It's got all those sort of natural sandalwoody and what else has it got? Vanilla-y. She describes it so well on the website about what they all,
Oh,
and you look
Lord.
it up and you pick it. You pick the ones that appeal to you because they're naturally sourced from Tasmania. She wanders around and finds smells and captures them and
I can
adds them to
totally
these
get
amazing
that.
things.
Yeah.
She's awesome. So there's a good episode with her. And then I've just interviewed her again a couple of days ago. She's just written a book as well on organising one's self during the day, which is going to be very useful. So check out Wilderness Labs, everyone else as
Well,
well.
I've written it down on my
Good
list.
time. Now, okay, so what about? Well, I've just told you what I bloody smell, so I've just given that away. Okay. Okay. What's a sound that you actually like, that you seek out? I'll say it's like something that's repetitive. I would imagine you'd probably enjoy. Would you enjoy the clickety clack sort of sound that goes? Would you enjoy listening to a clickety clack just on going over and over and over again for hours?
Well, I married a drummer, so.
I got drums. You can see the drums back there.
Yeah. I would say, though, like, is music another question? Because, like...
Yes. Yeah, it is.
It is. All right. Well, I won't say anything about music at the moment then. But yes, clickety clack type sounds. Repetitive is difficult because if you've got a beep, 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 that is...
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, like old train wheels or horse hooves or absolutely love that.
Love that.
Bird song. First thing in the morning, if you hear a bird just sort of being glad to be alive sort of thing.
Well, okay, we're there's a lot of green around us, and at the moment, the bird sound that we're getting is
Yeah. You've got black cockatoos. Is that what it is?
No, bloody crows.
Oh, they're crows. Okay, the black cockatoos though,
We get those too.
They're a shocker. The crows say fuck. Yeah.
And that's slow.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So obviously the crows are your favourite noise. I can hear that deep, deep in your soul. It's so deep, it's like an out-of-body experience.
No. Lorikeets I like, but every time I'm recording something, they're in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a bit annoying.
Yeah.
But no, I do love the sounds of birds. Now, what... Okay, so how about just your favourite album?
I couldn't say that.
The one you listen to the most?
I wouldn't have a favourite album. I probably don't have a favourite album.
Wow.
But have always, from the first time I heard it, have always listened to Queen's Greatest Hits.
My son. Me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like that's my longest album love. Longest and most consistent.
So good. Okay. But, well, when I say music, what comes into your head then? What do you think about?
Well, I love things that sort of bend genres a little bit. So we were out at do you know Shazam, the app?
Yeah, of course.
Love it. We were out at a restaurant some weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were hearing songs that I usually, the radio version of them is hard rock, heavy metal even.
Yeah.
Done as cool piano light jazz. I love Disturbed's version of Sound of Silence. I love, things. Jacques plays Bach. Jacques, I can't think of his surname. French jazz pianist.
Yes. Yep. Okay, for those, this is modern. Modern day Dan, what do I usually say? Future Dan. Future modern day Dan. Okay, so it's Jacques Lucere Trio. So the album that she's referring to is Bach Preludes, Fugues and Toccata, and that was released in 2021, but I've got another idea for you. And it's the Bach's Goldberg Variations, released in 2000, and I've listened to it, and it is well worth you having a listen, as well as listening to the Goldberg Variations. And my recommendation for that would be by the great Glenn Gould, who's, again, that's a little different to the standard, but I go there.
His version of Toccata and Fugue, which it's almost, when you listen to it, it's almost like it's dueling between the classical version and the jazz version. You know, you've got your classical straight time that then just kind of flicks over into the syncopation and the blue notes and then flicks back again.
Whoa.
It's like dueling banjos, but dueling genres.
It's interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to listen to this now. Jeez. I love being introduced to new music. Yeah, oh, God. Yep. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to quickly go through this. Okay, last one. Let's do the last one. Is what's your favorite color? Your favorite color is, it's going to have to be something that's very colorful from what we've been garnering here. Can I just say orange?
No, it's not orange, but you're not far off. It's yellow.
Oh, okay.
But it has to be the right kind of yellow, because there are some yellows that I hate.
Yeah, this is like madness.
Yeah. So a yellow that is on the gold side but muted, so that it's like
a little bit more natural.
Not even, doesn't have to be natural. Custard powder yellow.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Pinkish pale yellow, or a bit brighter than that, but nothing that goes off into mustard.
Okay. Yep.
Okay is okay, because as long as it's sort of pushed towards that browner, it's fine. But nothing that's sort of that greeny yellow.
Yellow, okay.
Muted thing.
Wow. Well, there's yellow in the background.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can show you my favorite color. It's just, there's something about this color.
Yeah, the green of it. Is it also the mixture of the greens?
I think that's just the light playing with, maybe. I'm not sure, but it just does. I could get lost for hours just staring at this color. Okay, look, this has gone way over it. I'd had more things, and I'm like, we'll just have to move past that. You know? But if you do come up with any autistic moments, and because that was one thing we mentioned we might talk about, but that's another,
Look,
another 20 minutes.
I don't know. This isn't another 20 minutes. My first ever autistic, oh my God, wait, that's autism moment.
Yeah.
People talking about driving in the rain at night, right, and that feeling of the lights coming towards you, and it's like they're stabbing into the back of your eyes, and it makes you feel nauseated. Yep. And it's like, what? That's autistic? I thought that was just me.
Mm. Okay, that's yeah. I get that too. Yeah, there's overwhelming sort of sensory kind of things that happen. And yeah, that's true. But I love the sounds of driving at night, the smells, all that sort of stuff. And yeah,
it depends on your exhaust, really, doesn't it?
Yes, it's right. And how exhausted you are.
Oh yeah, that too. Oh yes.
Well, thank you so much for chatting. And I love, I thought, at the beginning I was thinking, let's get into the sort of, what's your work and that sort of stuff. But I was also mindful of the fact that given the way that we sort of communicate on Facebook Messenger, I thought it might actually, let's allow it to go off on tangents here, let's just, because it's also just a nice insight instead of not just talking about autism, but being autistic.
Yes.
As well. And I want to do that.
Autistic communication, it's just the best.
It is. It's fantastic. Oh, anyway. Well, thank you so much. This is my official goodbye. Thank you very much, and hope to speak to you again soon.
Yes, thank you, Dad. It's been lovely. Thank you.